You ready?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Shiya, and this is my story in seven. So coming to Wesleyan, I didn't really know what I was gonna expect when I got here, but freshman year, I really got into knowing more about Jesus. I would say like my high school years, I knew who he was, and I had a relationship with him, but I wasn't really in the walk that I wanted to be in. Um, Freshman year coming here, I had the opportunity to have an amazing roommate who has a heart for the Lord, and just like seeing her grow has been a big part of my way in like developing my relationship with the Lord. So freshman year, we looked around for like what churches we would want to attend, and it took us a little bit to get there. It was just me, my roommate, and then another one of our teammates on our team. And it took us a minute to get there. At first, we went to a church and we tried it out one time and it was okay, but we were like, okay, maybe we should give it one more try. And we went there again and we were still like, I don't think this is the place for us. And then the next week, we decided to go to Pleasant Valley Community Church. And we went there for the first time, and it was one of the most amazing experiences we've ever had. So freshman year, we really got into going to church there, and we went every week we could, except like when we were traveling for basketball and we couldn't make it the next morning, or we were going home for anything. But Pleasant Valley became our church home starting freshman year. Also, freshman year, I started to get involved in FCA, and so I would attend the huddles when we didn't have basketball practices at night. And that was also like a big factor in growing my relationship with the Lord, because it was also like I could just talk to other athletes who are experiencing the same schedule as I am, and then like also wanting to grow in their relationship with the Lord. So freshman year, I would say that my relationship with the Lord was good, but just not where I wanted it to be also. Sophomore year, I got even more involved with FCA, and started thinking about going to a G group. I went to one G group my sophomore year of college, and it was awesome, but I just went one time and didn't really go much more in depth with it. So sophomore year, I was getting more and more involved with FCA, so I became a FCA rep my sophomore year. So what that is in FCA is it's just you send out the announcements for the FCA huddles to your team. And so I was doing that, but we also had practice some nights of FCA. So it was like when we did get the chance to go, like a lot of our team went because we would just go together all after practice. And when we didn't get the chance to go, it was like, oh, well, we're going to still send it out, but we know that we can't go. Sophomore year, also still attending Pleasant Valley. We Sophomore year, I made like a really good group of friends, and we all wanted to grow in our relationships with the Lord. So we started attending church all together, and that was also like that's a big part of our friendship. Like we go every Sundays. We text in our group chat. We're like, "Hey, do you guys want to go to church this Sunday? Like, what time are we going this Sunday?" So we started going to church as a group together. We'd all sit together, and one weekend the pastor there, the head pastor there, Pastor Jameis, he was like, "Oh, hello," and he like, we introduced ourselves to him, and he introduced himself to us, and he asked us if we would want to come over to his house for lunch one day after church. So 2 weekends after that, we went over to his house. Him and his wife had a lunch for all 7 of us that attended church, and they had a couple couples come from the church to also talk to us. So it was really cool to like get that church family vibe that we were having, and like growing our relationships with the people in the church that we are just now attending in like our college lives, and we're more independent away from our parents. So it's like this is the time where we're trying to find our relationship with the Lord and where we stand with the Lord rather than what our parents think about it. So sophomore year was like a big developing part of my relationship with the Lord. I feel like that year was the year that I started diving more into the Word. Like, yes, there are some times where I was still not going to church on Sundays because I'm too tired, or like all of that. And like, that's not something I'm very proud of, but I mean, we all have those points in our lives. So sophomore year was really, really big for my relationship with the Lord. Last year, which would be my junior year, I became an FCA captain. So like sophomore year I was a rep, but junior year I became a captain. And so for the FCA captains, it's like a little more work than what you would do as an FCA rep. So I was still the rep for my team, and I would still be sending out the messages for the FCA huddles. But now I am also a part of the like smaller group of leaders within FCA. So for that job, I would help like set up the huddles, and I would help lead different small groups that we had during our huddles, which the small groups at FCA huddles were like more of a smaller setting and a more vulnerable setting with just a smaller group of people where you could answer questions or like talk about like different parts of scripture and just dive deeper into the word that you wouldn't do when you had the whole big group, because usually people are nervous answering like those questions in front of people. So being able to like help like talk through those things in the Bible and all that was really awesome for me. And junior year also I started to get more involved with G groups. I still didn't go as often as I would like, and me and my roommate actually decided that, hey, we might want to start one. And that was really fun, but like we didn't actually get to that point my junior year. Junior summer, so like this past summer, I had the opportunity to go and lead at FCA Leadership Camp, and that camp is like a group of all high school students and some middle school students. And I was able to lead a group of high school girls, and just watching them grow in their relationship with the Lord over a course of 4 days was just such an amazing thing to watch. And just watching them be vulnerable and wanting to dive deeper into the Lord was just a really, really big part of my summer. So also this summer I was asked to become the FCA president here at school. And that's like a new leadership role, a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I feel like God was calling me to do that. I feel like He really wanted me to step out of my comfort zone and be bold in my faith and spread it with all sorts of people on our campus. I also got asked to be an FCA intern here in Owensboro, so I'm like communicating with different high schools. I work with Owensboro High School mostly, and I help them set up their huddles, and I talk to their leadership team, help them figure out what they're going to do for the next huddles. So that's been a really, really important part of my time here this year, and I'm really thankful for Jeff Moran because he has helped me through that, and he's the one that got me to become an FCA intern, and I really think it's grown my relationship with the Lord really a huge amount. And this summer after FCA leadership camp, it just like really hit my heart, and I made the decision that I wanted to be baptized this year. So Pleasant Valley has been our church home since I came here as a freshman, and that's just where I feel like would be the best place for me to get baptized. And along with that, I'm also having my roommate, who's been my roommate for 4 years, who I feel like has been a really big influence on my walk with Christ. She's going to be the one to baptize me, and I couldn't be more excited about it. And it's just, I feel like I've really, really grown in my relationship with the Lord as I've been here at Wesleyan. It's been just the perfect place to make those relationships, have those conversations with other people who are on fire for Jesus, and I'm just so thankful that I had the opportunity to be here. And that's my story in 7. But in 9. I didn't think I would talk